Fabulous Mother Love, coming to you live and in living color, well, as opposed to coming to you dead and in black and white. We are pleased to have you join us as we celebrate what the Polk Institute does. During this month, this has been really something. The Polk Institute is concurrent with the February's Black History Month, and now we're working on Women's History Month. 21 entrepreneurs have been accepted to participate in this tuition-free, innovative, master practitioner-driven training program. While Polk's cohorts Polk's cohorts, 4 participants are located throughout the nation. The majority of them are based here in Southern California. Here in Southern California. I got it. The majority of these entrepreneurs, 15 are women, 6 are male, 14 are African American, 5 are Hispanic, 1 is Caucasian, and 1 is Asian. We got the whole pool of people working now. And that's what's so important. And this is really an excellent program to get involved in. They don't race you through it. They have modules. They have all these people that come to you and are willing there to help you make your way through your entrepreneurship. The businesses span numerous industries from ed tech to entertainment and licensing to film production, from consulting to providing travel services to business services, food services to e-commerce, from health and wellness, fitness and lifestyle to mental wellness services, from a B group to a nonprofit. How about that? They're willing to walk you through this and let you know. Let me tell you what they do at the Polk Institute. It's the Polk Institute Foundation. It's a social entrepreneurship. Companies are endeavors that are purpose-driven, and represent the passion of the founder. That would be Gary Polk. Whatever their ethnicity. Because you can't put color on entrepreneurship. People got to do it, and I appreciate the fact that so many women are taking advantage of this program. They are so from whatever their ethnicity. These endeavors focus on people, profit, and planet. No, people, planet, and profit. That's the triple bottom line. People, planet, and profit. And the belief that having ethnically and generating profits. Let me get this right. Come on, Mother Love. These endeavors focus on people, planet, and profit. Triple bottom line. And the belief that behaving ethically and generating profits are not conflicting concepts. You got to understand, when you believe that you're going to be a great entrepreneur, you're working to make the money. Don't be ever ashamed to say, well, this is what my worth is financially. Okay, he didn't say that. That was the Mother Love part. An engaging interview, we'll be pleased. Oh, never mind. That part is not it. It was founded by Gary Polk, an African-American businessman and CEO, business consultant, university professor, and author who's passionate about creating successful social entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur and a small business owner, I know the importance of having that team above you who sees what you don't see, who can see things that you might not even know that you have that exist. Because a lot of times when we're entrepreneurs, and especially women, we come to the table wearing many, many hats. And it took me, Mother Love, a long while to realize I didn't have to do this by myself anymore. There were people out here. There are people out here for you to connect with, to jive with, hear their thoughts, but you bounce off your thoughts. And they're a great group of people. They are, strong. They're dedicated to they call them the cohorts. And this is the cohort 4th program that they're starting. And I've had several of the people who got their information from the Polk Institute, to help them spread their business, to help them better with their words, help them better with their presentations. And that is so important. And one of the things I want to ask him when he comes is to let me know, because about this artificial intelligence. As a member of SAG-AFTRA, we were on strike for many, many months. And the biggest stickler was because the studios want to use our name, image, and likeness in any way that they feel like because of artificial intelligence. I mean, the first time I got hit, we always had artificial intelligence. We got the computers. We have all these computers. I mean, when you go in one of these big corporations and you see the computer room, you really start thinking, Big Brother is watching us. Big Brother is seeing us, and they're taking all these elements to put into artificial intelligence. I mean, I even read a story. Well, I saw this the first time I saw where they were doing it with humans was, well, they've probably been doing it with humans for a while. But the first time I saw it on television or on the internet was they had the AI guy. They used Will Smith as a marker for who they were gonna. This artificial intelligence was going to display and show the picture of Will Smith, artificially generated, eating a bowl of spaghetti bigger than his head. He's eating this bowl of spaghetti, and AI has him looking like a glutton, like he just stuffing his face, stuffing his face, stuffing his face, and it looks so real. But and I'm wondering, will we ever be able to tell the difference? They don't have a hard time with Mother Love's voice because I have a unique flavor to my voice. And I wonder, how they would even incorporate that. No, I don't. I don't want that because I don't want to be substituted for artificial intelligence. And I'm telling you, AI is really something. I didn't think that as much as I like food and cooking from scratch and, making my own things and, deciding what I'm going to do, you could just talk into the app and I am working on my recipes to share with people out there in cyber world, so you can eat better, eat well, and still have great flavor in your food. So I was doing my, hand writing down my recipes and, so and such and such. And one of our executives came in and he said, Mother Love, okay, I've got this on my phone. This is all you got to do. You really don't even have to think, but you do have to think. Because you have to think of what you're going to tell the machine that you want to have done, the device. My bad, device. And so you have to be able to tell your device what it is that you want to do. And so this is how I put in recipes for Mother Love. And they brought this really nice, the really nice opening. It was great. I typed in one of my favorite recipes, Mother Love's Slamming Blackened Salmon Salad. Salmon, however you want to say, tomato. I put it in for my Slamming Blackened Salmon Salad. Came out with every ingredient. I didn't even tell it what the ingredients were. And AI just did it. And my big concern, and especially as far as businesses are concerned, and small businesses and women business, and all small businesses, that this artificial intelligence can lock into your email or whatever you tell it to do, and then you could actually put things in it that are not true, that it will make it, the device will make you think it is true. I mean, because when I first saw it, they put the clip up of Will, his artificial intelligence image, put Will Smith up there, and then he showed the reporter guy. He said, okay, this is Will Smith, and does it look like Will Smith to you? And they go, yeah, it looks like Will Smith to me. And then he showed the picture of Will Smith just being a glutton with the artificial side of Will Smith, just glutton, just throwing down. And I thought, well, that's pretty rude. And we have a problem right now with Big Brother watching us. Now Big Brother is listening to us and everything that we say and everything that we do. And so at first it was kind of freaky. I'm going to tell you, it was kind of freaky to Mother Love. It was. I remember when we started having our own home offices, and my husband goes out and he gets me all the stuff that the computer and the printer and the all the gadgets, just so many gadgets. He's a gadget guy. And so the things that I was hearing about the internet, I really wasn't pleased about what I was hearing about the internet. And so this was straight up, this was my attitude. It's evil in that box. It's evil in that box, and I don't want to be subjected to the evil in that box. And then I was politely reprimanded and to say, no, yes, there are. He didn't say no, there weren't. He said, yes, there are. Your job and your position will be that you're going to look for the good things that are in the internet, are on the internet, what people are putting out there. And I remember when we were still in New York, these young guys called, this was many years ago, these young guys, they called me up and they were like, hey, Mother Love, just for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to call them Bobby and Jake. So they call me up, hey, Mother Love, this is Bobby and I'm Jake. They're on the phone, they're talking, and they're saying, we're starting a radio program on the internet. And I said, okay, what you talking about? and they would letting me know that they wanted to. And to make a long story shorter or longer, these guys, Bobby and Jake, called me up and said, "See, because you never know who's watching you. You never know who's listening to you. And now Big Brother is watching us and listening to us." But anyway, Bobby and Jake said, "We would love for you to be our very first guest on our very first radio interview on the internet." And you know me, I'm a talker, I'm a lover, I'm a giver. I'm like, yeah, why not? These young guys trying to come up, this electronic technology is just, we see it taking over, and we get that. Well, I was their very first guest. And if you, I know your name is not Bobby and Jake, but wouldn't you be surprised if it were you, Bobby and Jake? And they put me on, and we were all over the New York area without having to go anywhere. I just sat there, and I was like, "How long is this supposed to be?" And they go, "We don't know. This is the first time we've ever done it." And they asked me some really good questions, and we had a back and forth, and they let me know. And some places out there, I'm sure they sent me a copy of it on, what is the thing you call a jump drive? You could put your whole life on a jump drive. And this was just, it was so fascinating. And then after had that encounter with these two young men, I said, "Okay, Mother Love, it's time for you to, it's time for you to break free. You got to get into the end of the 20th century, because things are moving fast." And I didn't want to be left out. And I'm not a good typer. I told you I was psychologically damaged by my typing teacher. Nonetheless, this was in high school. And nonetheless, I'm still a bad typer. And I wish I would have just learned how to do it. And I'm getting better, even though I now have arthritic thumbs. You got to watch yourself. And so to get involved into this, and for me, this is just so wonderful to be able to be here with you. I don't know who's watching. Tell all your friends, call your girlfriends, call your guy friends, tell them come down and watch Mother Love, or listen to Mother Love. I'm at Mother Love, whatever I'm on, the Mother Love Show, the motherloveshow.com. Just come on in, or you got to type my name in, and we could get involved. And I thought, what a great thing. And watching it move through our society and then through the world. And I mean, it's like, everybody probably got a cell phone. I'm seeing people in downtown LA, where we have a horrible, they call them unhoused now. These are homeless people. They're homeless veterans and families. And a lot of them have mental illness. A lot of them do. And what I found out is that either the county or the city, I think it was the county of LA County, that made sure that the people that were there on Skid Row, the people that are being unhoused, would have access to a cell phone where they could talk to people that they love if they needed that. You might have to call and come down, and you need an ambulance. They have a way for them to connect to each other. And this is what we need to do. We've got to stay connected, and especially in business, because as I was saying earlier, it was rough for me as an entrepreneur. And I didn't look at it as, "Oh, woe is me, this is too hard, this is too rough, I can't do it, it's taking too much work." Well, that's what your mission should encompass. It should look like it's supernaturally too big for you. So that lets you know right there, you need somebody else to help you. You need somebody's else to help you. Now, I don't know everything. I know some of you think I do know everything, but I'm telling you straight up, I don't know everything. Oh, but I know everything else. And I don't know everybody. I don't. Wish I did, but I don't know everybody, because I know everybody else. And I think it's important that, you stay connected with people. I heard this phrase a while ago about the power of networking, and people don't want to get out and network. They don't know how to cold call or anything like that. And so they said your network is your net worth. Your network is equal to your net worth. And I thought, yeah, that makes sense, because the people around you, those are your networking people. They could be family, friends, co-workers. They could be strangers. I mean, I've had strangers donate right now. Well, hey, handsome. I thought you would I knew you weren't going to hold me up.
You knew I wouldn't do that.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
You wouldn't. I wouldn't do that.
Can you turn your mic up?
Can you hear me now? Hello.
Wait, I can't hear you.
All right, hang on a second.
Wait. Okay, Kennedy. Okay.
How about
And
now?
I
Can you
still
hear
can't
me?
hear him. I can see him, but I can't hear him.
Wow. Oh, my mic is on.
I don't know what's going on. We're having technical difficulty here at the Mother Love Show. And they told me not to touch the button.
Okay.
Whose head is that?
You hear me now?
That's Gary and you.
No, they head right there. Okay. I don't know what's going on.
I just have to talk.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, Gary, can you hear me? If you can
Yes.
hear me, talk.
I can
You
hear
can hear
you.
me okay? Can you
Yes.
see me? Okay.
Yes.
I can see you. I can see you.
But you can't hear me.
That's it. Okay. I don't know why we can't hear him.
This is really bad. This is so raggedy.
I don't know why we can't hear him.
How about I go out?
I
and
can't
come
even
back
hear me.
in?
Oh yeah, I can. Can you hear? You can hear me, can't you, Gary? Yeah, you can hear me. Okay.
I'm
We're
going to
looking
leave
for
and
the-
come back.
Oh,
You have a chat?
Okay, have him say something.
Okay, Gary, can you hear me now? Say something.
Something.
I can't. He said say something. I still can't hear him.
Look at my chat.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, hold on.
Check my chat. Look at the chat box.
He said he had to leave and come back.
Okay, he's gonna call back in again. Just like you told me, we
It's
haven't
okay.
done it at the moment now.
Well, we're having technical difficulties, everybody, and I do apologize for that. I want you to know that we're gonna get this fixed, and if we're unable to get him in here with us now, we will absolutely reschedule him because he's got a lot of information to be able to share with you. Go on his website, Polk Institute. .org or oh, there he is.
How about that?
Now, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can
I
hear
can't
you.
hear.
Can you hear me?
No. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my goodness. You still can't hear me.
I've been losing weight like a crazy.
I haven't called.
Okay, speak now, please. Testing.
Testing. One,
Nope.
2, 3.
Can't hear him. It's not working. Will we be able to reschedule you, Gary? Because this is kind of
Yes.
raggedy, and I don't want to do no raggedy stuff. Can we reschedule?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for your patience. And thank you, babies, for your patience. Remember, even with all the glitches, you
You
can
have to
find.
just keep going.
He's still up here. I'm looking right at him. No, I want to reschedule this interview. I'm not prepared.
I'm not disagreeing.
Okay.
Okay, but the show not restarted.
Okay, and what am I
have you in
going
the
to
show?
I can end it right here. And remember, you can follow me on Facebook, X, Twitter, Ustream, Rstream, Restream, Spreaker, and all the other platforms that everybody else is on. I'm so sorry for this. We'll make it up. Know that I love you. And remember this, no matter how big or small, short or tall, thick or thin, it doesn't matter what skin you're in. Everybody needs some mother love now and then. Peace, babies. We'll try again on Monday. And make sure you listen to us tomorrow on Saturday. Shack C, for anybody who ever was on Forgive or Forget, whoever saw Forgive or Forget, whoever wanted to see, come on Saturday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. And Shack C, my number one fan, who it broke it. I mean, I was just flabbergasted with the fact that this guy, even before I met him, this guy had recorded over 150 episodes of Forgive or Forget with myself and the ones with Robin Givens. And I appreciate everything he's done. He took 4 years for the research. And then he did another 3 years to edit everything together so we could have it in clips. And it is truly something. And I watch it like a fan. I watch it like a guest. And I was saying something last week, and I was like, that was a good thing Mother Love said. Like I wasn't Mother Love. It was too funny. And to be able to see the people, pray for the people, pray that they did well for those who didn't forgive, that they let that that hatred and that weight off of their hearts, and the person that did, that you find light and liberty and fun, and you mended your fences, and you can do what you're doing. I would love to hear from you, to find out how you're doing, what you been doing. I just, it's been a while. I'd like to hear a praise report. And as I've been told by people every day up to and including this day, how Forgive and Forget changed their lives, or how they would watch it when they were little kids with their mothers and their grandfathers and their aunties. And I was like, little kid, you're a grown man with a beard. Then I had to remember how long ago it was. But people, people still feel an affinity to the program. And they'll come up to me and they'll say, hey, Mother Love, I miss your program. And after a while, they have stopped calling it Forgive and Forget. They start calling it the Mother Love Show. So it's like, whatever I need, I just want you to come and take what you need and share with us what you need and where you are. You can reach us here, and chime in with us, put it up on the internet. Because we had one young man, we had a clip of his mother and at that time her boyfriend. And the guy, he emailed Shaq and he said, oh my God, that's my mother. She was on the show. Okay, he's not my father. And the story was her mother didn't want and would not accept her boyfriend simply because he was a black man who treated her daughter like a queen. And she said, I don't care. And I answered the question, so if he was a white guy beating on you, you would feel better about that? And she was like, no. So you have to be mindful, especially of how you speak to your children and how you speak to your adults and how you speak about yourself. Because we can tell a lot about yourself. You can tell a lot about yourself in the way that you speak to people, in the way that you can, you come at them. And we can tell it in your tone and your pitch and your, just in the way that you're speaking. And it can get really, really, it got really, really ugly sometimes on that show. And the fact that people even remember, because usually people remember the ugly. Don't get me wrong, they did remember the ugly, and they remember the good too. They remember more of the good stuff than they did the bad stuff. And that was important to me. And to have people say, they still miss it, they still love it, and they want to see Mother Love again. Well, baby, that's why I'm here with you right now. This is why I'm right here with you. We are on Restream, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok. Oh, and while I'm mentioning TikTok, I just read an article and saw it on the news that the United States government has just figured out, I don't know how come it took them this long to get it, that a Chinese company owns TikTok. And they have 175 million people in America on their TikTok platform. I am one of them. And the United States has said, the government has said, well, we think TikTok is detrimental to our young people, and we want that we shouldn't be involved in a communist country because they don't agree with us. And we want it. What they'll do is they'll let you have TikTok. You can have the TikTok 175 million members. You can have it, but it must be an American-owned company. Now, I got an issue with that because. When we were all the cars in America were American built, you got Ford, you got Chrysler, you got Buick, you got Chevy, you got all these companies. And when you got a car from another country, like a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz or a Rolls-Royce, you first of all, you had to have a bunch of money to even get these cars imported over to you. And one of my girlfriends, one of my church friends has said to us one day, she told her husband she wanted to get a new car. He told her, get what you want. So she said, well, she wanted a Maybach. Never heard of that before in my life. And come to find out, these are custom-made cars that you have to send overseas to get the stuff, and they have to ship the custom-made car to you. Well, and then they let the Chinese and the Japanese companies come in with Kia and Toyota, and they didn't say, well, you have to give us part of your, but they did. They said we can import cars to them. The tax on importing cars and having cars come in, I think, is completely different. So we have to be mindful of trying to tell other people in other countries how they can live their life and what kind of businesses that can own. And if that were the case, how come we still got child pornography in San Diego being one of the biggest hubs in the world to exploit these young children? How come we haven't decided that we need to cut that child pornography off on on the computer? Why do we have people that are lying about who they are on the computer and luring children in, especially those young and vulnerable? And people that are young and vulnerable, they're on TikTok, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, they're telling you their story, and most people are not listening. They are not listening. I mean, for us to have an app that will make a child feel inferior because somebody else is on the internet bullying them. How come you're not doing anything about bullying? And I don't know if you remember this story about this was horrible, terrible. And this was about, on these social media platforms. Young girls, I'm like 13, 14, 15, that's when you start smelling yourself. The fellas start looking at you. You start walking a little different and carrying on because you want the fellas to see you being cute. You're 13, 14, 15. You don't know crap from apple butter. And I'm just telling this straight up. I was raised, and I was 15 at one time. I know many of you think I just fell off the sky, but I did. My sister thought that too. Mama got you from the store. I'm like, oh, they had perpetrated that lie real deep. And so nonetheless, they had there were these two girls, supposedly two young girls who were her peers in school. And they didn't like her for whatever asinine reason except for envy, that a teenager would dislike another teenager because maybe she's got more friends, she's got her own clique going, or whatever. Maybe the young girl wanted to be involved in the clique. Well, they bullied this little girl so badly and destroyed her sense of being and her sense of herself and beat her down. And we as adults, after a while, you get beat down so much. When you get up and you walk away. This child could not get up and walk away. They were calling her on her phone and leaving these hateful messages and, sending her these horrible messages online. Come to find out, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. Come to find out, the mother of the daughter who was doing the bullying or the alleged bullying that they said her teenager was doing, it was her mother. Her mother, it just came back to me. Her mother bullied this young girl because the young girl made the cheerleading team and her daughter didn't. And her daughter, and she thought, well, I don't know who she is. Nobody likes her anyway. Why is she on the cheerleading squad? And this little girl went home. She had just had enough. She didn't know where to go. She didn't know who to call. She didn't know how to, process this. And she took her life. And when you got technology that is so strong and so powerful and so immediately that someone would, especially, anybody, because people be in pain all the time. And some people can deal with it and some people can't. And at 13, 14, or 15, you really don't have the acuity to think like that, to map this out, to compartmentalize that, to say, you don't even know me, and because they tried to bully me when I was in high school. It didn't work too well because my tongue was way too sharp. I cut them in the jugular with one and watch them bleed on the floor and step over their blood. Yes, I would. I know how that can be. And I know how that can make, especially young people feel. And it was just a terrible thing that happened, and we've got to be mindful. We really have to be mindful with our children and with ourselves. Kids do what they see you do. And that's when, I heard this, I was talking about the phrase, your networking equals your net worth. So who are the people that you're around? Who are you networking with? Who are your friends? Who are the people that are just acquaintances? Because everybody in your village is not your friend. Everybody in your village doesn't want to see you succeed. It's easier for them to put you down, and it makes them, make them feel better because they're not pursuing what they're supposed to do. They're not standing in the lane of where they're supposed to go and what their life is supposed to be like. And we're talking about teen girls and teen guys. This isn't just, for our young girls. This is for all of our young people. And it doesn't matter what your nationality is. It doesn't matter where you come from. And we have had so much so much hate and so much hurt and so much harm here in our country now. You know, these kids are like really having a hard time because, you know, you got adults running around here, y'all on TV and, you know, messing up your marriages and people know you married, but then you get on TV and say, oh yeah, that's my husband. I know that's my husband. I love him, but I like my boyfriend better. But you would say that on national television? And it's, to me, it was just, you know, just for the grab of it. And our program that we did those many years ago, that's what it was about. And to this day, people still need to have a place to land, a soft place, because once you walk out that door, I tell these young people, and it's from my son, my nieces, my nephews, all the young people that are around me, all the young people that I love, and the ones that love me, I let them know, when you walk out that door, baby, society gives out flying kitty about you. Don't care if you're doing well, don't care if you're sick, don't care if you're damn, dead, or delivered. They want to get whatever they can get out of you. And if they see and feel like in you, oh, she doesn't have a lot of friends. Oh, he's a loner sitting over there on the bench by himself. Oh, look at her. She just want to play by herself. Or does she really want to play by herself? Why don't the other kids want to play with her? And that becomes what I understand from the pedophiles that I have met and know. And people always say, no, that's not in our family. Yes, it is. Hopefully it is not. But 99 out of 99%, I'd have to say 100%. 100% of people are looking for some place to land, are looking for love, are looking for comfort, are looking to be seen, are looking to be acknowledged, and acknowledged to understand you are enough. And it's got to be you that make the change. If you don't feel like that you're enough, you're not a really good cheerleader. You got to go out there and practice them cheers, and you're going to get hurt. You're going to fall down. Somebody going to miss, you know, when you're jumping off and jumping off the pyramid. One of our granddaughters, well, both of our granddaughters are in cheerleading. And they all do stuff. They all do stuff. And they're in cheerleading. And one of our granddaughters is like the top of the pyramid of the cheerleading thing. And she's about big as this lipstick container. She's just a little bitty thing. So they said, put her on the top. When they went to flip her up and flip her over, literally my heart stopped. Because I'm like, what if they miss? What if they drop her? Okay, that was me and my angst, because I've seen cheerleading competitions and drill team competitions where they do get hurt. And, you know, we pray for our kids every day. And I don't just pray for mine. I pray for yours, because we're going to need your future generations. We're going to need your children and your grandchildren to keep this experiment of democracy together. And having kids in the school bullying other kids, having, you know, kids, you know, oh, I wanted to play the clarinet. Why she get to play the clarinet? Why don't you play the violin? I don't want to play the violin. I want to play the clarinet. And stop their creativity from growing, from being nurtured. And you see what this has done. Our school systems are raggedy. Our hospital systems are all raggedy. We raggedy. You know, our relationships get raggedy. You know, we're eating up everything on the menu, but thank you, call again. We're not understanding. The first place we got to start is here with you. It's got to come from you. You have got to say, I'm not enough. Okay, what's going to make you enough, Mother Love? What is going to make you be the one that stands out in the crowd? And this, please know that this is not this is just a fact. Because when I was younger, I was little teeny tiny like my granddaughter. And boy, did they pick on me. I mean, they were cruel and they were vicious. And I had to find a coping mechanism. And my coping mechanism was this: my tongue and my mouth, my thoughts and my heart. And when I was about 8, they used to call me Bony Baroni, or they call me chicken legs, or they call me olive oil. For those of you who don't know who olive oil is, that's Popeye the Sailor Man's girlfriend. And she had these little stick legs and these big knees. And I can't say that they were wrong. I was built like olive oil. And they would, oh God, they would tease me. And I would, when the wind would blow, because I'm from Ohio, from Cleveland. Y'all know, hey, my Cleveland fans, my brothers and sisters, that is my town. And those are my people. I say that all the time. I got that from Dancing Danny Wright. I used to be on the radio with him. Well, nonetheless, the winds would blow vicious, and the with the wind chill factor, you had to be all bundled up. Well, between winter and spring, and we never knew when spring was going to come. It has snowed in April in Ohio, and the wind would blow me up so high. I mean, literally off the ground. For those of you who remember the Flying Nun, I got teased about that. They're like, Bonnie Baroni, she could fly like the Flying Nun. Remember, we had to go pick her up off the fence. There's nothing more embarrassing than having to get lifted up off of a wrought iron fist because the wind blew me up, and I thought it was going to blow me over the fence, but I got the tail end of the wind caught the back of my coat and my dress, and the wind pulled me over the fence. And I wasn't completely over the fence. I was stuck on the fence. Oh, and if I tell you, these boys came out and talked about me like a dog. That's what you get for being up there. That's what you get for being so bony, baroni, skinny as a piece of macaroni. I had to learn to help me with that. And I remember getting blown up, and in the springtime, blown up into a tree. And I got blew up, and the branch landed between my legs. I was all right. But it was just very awkward looking. Okay, keep pulling on my shirt. My shirt is too big. I lost a bunch of weight. Okay, back to the story, folks. And so I got caught up on there, and I got my mother had 4 girls and 2 boys. And so my sister said, Mama, she's stuck on the fence. She's stuck on the fence. She's stuck in the tree. She's stuck in the tree. And my brothers came out and was signifying like all the boys in the neighborhood. And our mother would get us a pack of panties that had a day of the week on them. I'm like, how your panties gonna know your Wednesday panties gonna know that you didn't put them on Sunday? I mean, we had 7 pair, every day. And I don't know why I thought this. I was like, okay, well, what if I did wear my Wednesday panties on Sunday to church? Is God gonna smite me? Then I went to church, came home from church, I wasn't smitten. And so that's when I started to understand old wives' tales. And some of them are really, really good. And some of them are really funny. And some of them don't make any sense. And it didn't make sense to me to have the day of the week on your panties. Well, this particular day, I didn't have on that day's panties. And the way that blew me up in the air, and I got stuck, and the branch got stuck between my legs, and my dress was up, my panties were up, and when my panties were still up, and my dress was up, and you could see what day of the week. Oh, and they just, today ain't Wednesday. Why you got on Wednesday panties that you should have worn on Sunday? She don't even know what the days of the week is. She don't even know what pair of panties that. And that could do some damage to a kid, and it really did until I found my voice. And when I found my voice, I wasn't 12 years old, because by the time I turned 12, I was a master at my voice. I knew the power of my tongue. They would often say to me, even as a little girl, if you haven't read the phrase, in the Bible that says, out of the mouths of children, the truth will come, because children don't have a lie filter. And if your kids got a lie filter when they little, you need to go get your kids checked out psychologically, because some kids can put stuff together and some kids put it together in a way different way that could be extremely dangerous to themselves and others. And so, I got chastised for that. And then, like I said, when I found my voice, it was all over but the shop. I was like, I will not ever be bullied again. I will never be talked down to again. I will not have anybody just talk to me any kind of way and be rude and disrespectful. And I remember I wasn't rude and disrespectful to the lady. This was an adult lady. And she said something that was really, really foul to me. And I wasn't trying to be malicious. I was just letting her know, you don't get to talk to me like that. She said, I talk to you any kind of way I want to. You don't tell me how to talk to you. I'm an adult. You a child. You stand a child's place. And so you upset that a child understands that you're lying. Oh, you'd have thought I called her a witch with a capital B. Oh, she stormed up the door, bang, 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 banging on the door. I want you to know I want to tell you what this heifer said. My mama snatched me in the house and slammed the door in her face. And she knocked on the door and she said, well, why you slamming the door in my face? I said, you don't get to call my child anything. And if she said anything to you, what you probably pissed about is that she put you in check and she's just a child. She ain't got to, she stays in this child's place. When an adult comes at her like that, she's supposed to come to me. And I just said, what, are you mad at me because I'm a child and I know that you're lying? All HE double hockeys broke loose. I wasn't allowed to go over her house anymore. My friend wasn't allowed to come over to my house anymore because she felt like I owed her an apology. We was doing forgive and forget way back in the day. Who knew? And she said, I want her to apologize to me. And my mother told her she has nothing to apologize to you for. What you should have done as an adult was to come to me. You don't stand in front of my child and chastise my child. My tongue is not working today. You don't get to chastise my child. You know, and this is in a time when the adults, you know, could reprimand you. You know, adults saw you doing something down the walkway behind the building, and that comes snatching out in your behind, and you be like, prayer, please, mama, please don't tell my mama, please don't tell my daddy, because my mama knows she gonna tell my daddy, please don't tell my mama, please don't tell my daddy, please just let me die, just let me die. That's when I found out I had a voice. I was on my knees, begging her to not tell my mother, and she said, "What? You do it. Because if you don't, I will. Because you have no business out here talking like that and being like that. You don't want to be a disgrace to your mother." And I was like, how am I disgracing my mother? I'm talking to this bobo head. People never know who's watching. People never know who's listening. And after I became an adult, I realized that I was in the wrong. Did I apologize to him? No, I didn't. Because I didn't apologize to him because he was out of line. And I wasn't gonna let him bully me. And you ain't gonna tell me what to do. And I was going, you know how, like now, you know how when I get started. And he and I, this is really something. At first we were like nemesis, you know, and he would say something to me and I was like, you know, I ain't the one for you to say that to. And I didn't realize that for some boys, that's their way of showing you that they like you. How you gonna tell me you like me when you gonna talk about my knobby knees? How you gonna tell me you gonna like me and I got ashy legs? How you gonna tell me you like me and you don't like the way my mama then braided my hair? So that's not what you don't like me. You like what you think I should be or how you think I should look. And I never went. I always went against the grain. And when kids know that their family members will protect them, that family members will come to the rescue for them, they will know that child will be able to build a sense of self-esteem, build a sense of power, because children can be very powerful when you're listening to them. And sometimes, you know, you got to listen to the children. I was watching this little boy on the internet. Man, he could sing gospel like, oh, he was just off into it. I mean, when he opened up his mouth and he did his first, well, you know, that was an old soul coming back to life. They gave this child a microphone and he went to preaching a sermon. Now, the way that he was preaching and the subject matter that he was using, I would have never thought that that would be applicable to a child and he would understand what that meant. You know, and one of the things that people were saying, he's a child, he's just staying in a child's place. Preachers are supposed to be, you know, adult men. Like adult men, he's a baby boy child. And a lot of denominations don't want women preaching to men. I know what it says in the Bible, you know, that only men should, you know, preach the gospel to people and preach the gospel to women. And, you know, I think when Jesus came along to say, that's not, you know, this is what you do. He didn't say don't do that. He said, this is what you're going to do. And when you believe in me, I got you. And a lot of our children, unfortunately, and their parents, unfortunately, I have seen the decline in the churches, in the temples, in the halls, in the mosques, or wherever you're going to worship. Young people don't think they need don't need a higher power for them. They're going to get it and they want it now. And we're giving off these mixed messages because the kids are seeing what we're doing. And then they get on the internet and, you know, they know stuff that, we didn't know. How wild. And it would have been wild if I had access to a computer when I was 13 years old. I couldn't even have a telephone or a TV in my room. We had one TV in the whole house. We had 3 telephones, one in the kitchen, one in the living room, and one in our mother's room. And she always knew when somebody was touching her princess thumb. I'm like, I don't think she got this bug. I didn't even know what bug meant. But nonetheless, she would know. And 9 chances out of 10, it was probably me. It was me. Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I was really, truly, and honestly frightened of my mother. This woman said, don't you know I brought you here and I will take you out with such fortitude. I really thought she might take me out. So and my sister said, why you keep pushing her envelope? Why you keep pushing her button? I'm like, I'm not keep pushing her buttons. She's asking me a question. I'm responding to her question. She might not like the answer I'm giving. And that's what my sister said. Well, that's why you get popped in the mouth all the time. Because you don't know when to quit. And I learned when to stop. One of the things I was really proud of, the fact that when I found my voice and I saw how many other little girls were being bullied by the same boys. They were just going from girl to girl to girl. And we would sit down and, have our little conversations, sitting on the porch, what you going to be when you grow up. My match was always, well, I don't plan on growing up. They were like, what you think you're going to die as a child? I don't know if I'm going to be I'm going to be a adult. That's what I'm going to be, a adult. I don't want to be a grown up. I want to be I can make adult decisions. I always want to have the mind and the heart of a child, because children are so pure and they're just so pure. And you get this unblemished canvas that has been handed to you. And I don't know if you know this or even take this, but your children are only on loan from God for you. That's it, because you don't get to keep them for the rest of your life for the most part. I mean, I even remember, when people would see, I hate this word, handicap. I always said they're different. They have a different skill set. There's something different that they do. When I was driving a school bus, I drove the big yellow bus, and then I drove the short bus. And my short bus was the kids that had special needs. I had one little boy. I thought the child was like 6. He was 16 or 17, getting ready to graduate from high school, smart as a whip. He had a condition where he didn't develop completely. His body didn't develop completely into adulthood. He developed, I'm going to say, I think about the size of a 4-year-old. He could still be picked up and carried. His dad would have him strapped in his car seat. He had to wear a car seat. They strap him into his car seat and, everything. And they tap on the door, let me know that he was all secure. And I didn't understand why he wanted to sit in the back. I'll tell you that story another day. So then another girl I went to pick up, and he's in the back, and he was nonverbal for the most part, but he could say things like, yeah, or no, okay. So he could communicate with you. He didn't use the words like we did. So I didn't talk to him in those terms. I talked to him like I'm talking to you. And he appreciated that. And his father and mother appreciated that. And I thought it was so cool. His dad brought him out to the bus, and put him on the bus in the morning. And his mom was there waiting on us to pull up to take him out in the evening. And best dressed kid on the bus. He was fly. Then I had another girl that they all rode on the same bus. She's an adult size. They were both getting ready to graduate. I'm never going to forget them. Okay, so she gets in the car and she's in a wheelchair. So we got to get her in the wheelchair because she had cerebral palsy as well, a form of it. And she could speak, and her speech was slow and labored, but she knew what she was talking about. She was very, very smart. And then, because we sit her in the back so we bolt her down, so if anything happens, she will be safe in that chair and he would be safe in that chair. The rest of my kids, they could walk, they could talk. Some of them were nonverbal. I had a little boy that would get off the bus and just run. Everybody had to go catch him. And he was fast too. And he thought that was the funniest thing. And that's why I said they are so pure. They don't have any of that animosity. He just wanted to run. Well, I wanted to find out why the girl in the wheelchair wanted to sit back with the guy in the baby seat, in the booster chair. And so one day something just said, I said, I'll tell you that later. Well, this is later. And a lot of people don't look at teenagers, especially teenagers that have special needs. They might not walk like you think they should walk. They would make fun of their disability. And see, I like disability better than I do the other one, because you're disabled to do this, but you're able to do that. And so she was an English major, and she wanted to go to college. She wanted to be on her own. She wanted to get a driver's license, and they didn't even. Well, they had them, but they were like, I'm from the projects, so I didn't even know that they had something like that, and that you could get a driver's license, And they said, well, she could see, and they have especially made cars where if you can't use your feet, you can use your hand. It's like driving a stick shift. Okay, so she was telling me all about what she wanted to do, and we met her in like January. And she was going to graduate the next June. So I had her for about a year, almost a year and a half. And so we were talking, and she was saying, she called me by my bus number. That's what I told me. You don't get to call me by my proper name because I'm your elder. You can call me by my bus number. I'll answer. And so she was telling me what she wanted to do. She wanted to go to college. She wanted to be on her own. And she felt like her mother, she would say, my mother is just smothering me. I don't seem to be able to, she doesn't want me to think for myself. Cute as a button. She had this big round face. She had beautiful skin. She had thick wavy hair. She had eyelashes that looked like I thought she was wearing fake eyelashes so long, they looked false. And she had the biggest blue eyes. They were so blue. First time I met her, I did this. It was stupid. I waved my hand in front of her. She said, I can see. I said, please forgive me. I wasn't trying to be rude and disrespectful. But when I see somebody with eyes that blue, I'm thinking they're blind. So anyway, she said I could see really well. And she straight A student. And I can't even remember. I think she wanted to be an English teacher. And she said, I want to be an English teacher that has a disability, and I want to teach other kids that have disabilities or problem with their speech. And I want to teach a regular class, because I want them to know you don't have to be afraid of me, And she was really open about the fact that she was born with cerebral palsy. They're the ones that taught me what to say, because everybody else called it cerebral palsy. She said it's cerebral palsy, and she with cerebral palsy, and she could do everything. Her mother she said she was smothering me. I was like, how bad is it? She was like, it's really bad when I get my period. She was like, can I just please go in the bathroom by myself? I understand repetitive work. I understand this is going to come. And, whatever went on. Well, one day I pulled up. I wasn't your average bus driver, I guess they said. Well, I pulled up to get her, and when you got a small bus, there's a bus monitor on. You have to have another adult on the bus with you and the children, so they can take care of anything that's happening behind your bus seat. So one day we came to pick her up, and I'm telling you, she didn't even come out. Her mother came. Her mother had built her a ramp. Because I said, well, don't you get tired of like boop it down those steps with that wheelchair? She was like, yeah, I don't know what to do. I said, have your parents build you a ramp? And these were well-off parents. So she asked her mother and father, could they build her a ramp so she could roll herself from the bus to the house. Oh, they pitched. If I tell you, she was as mad as a wet hen at me. Her mother came out there and told me, I don't know who the HE double hockeys you think you are. You know what that means. Who you think you are. You don't fill my daughter with this false hope that she can lead a normal life, that she could go to college, that she could get her driver's license. I don't know who you think you are. That's your problem. You blacks think you could do anything, and you could teach our children. And I was just standing there. This was my love. Okay, so you don't want your child to advance. You don't want her to become self-sufficient. You want to take care of her for the rest of your life because she's 17. She probably going to outlive you. So you think that's a bad thing? Oh, she cussed me up one side, down the other. She went across my chest and she used some more cuss words that I had never heard in my life. And I'm pretty sure they were Yiddish cuss words. I'm not sure. She started talking to me in tongue, and it took everything in me. I mean, I heard what she said, and I understood that, but I also understood that she is going to be an adult in a few months. She will be able to sign a legal document. She will be able to, get credit card. We have debit yet. Credit cards. When she turns 18, if she decides she wanted to go into the military, she could. She didn't have to be on the front line soldier. Maybe she would be a computer tech or whatever. And she could. When she finally, we were like 15, 20 minutes late with the kids at school. Oh, I was in hot water with the Board of Education. Like you would not, I was always in hot water with the Board of Education. And so she came out And she rolled down. They built her ramp, and she came down the ramp the first time by herself. And when my bus monitor went down to help her get on the bus, she had these big giant tears running down her face. And I'm like, oh, baby, what's the matter? What's the matter? And I got up out my seat to go see what was wrong. She said, that was the first time I felt independent. That was the first time I felt like I could do it on my own. And from that day, she said, I don't know what you said to my mom. She was so mad when she came in the house. Her face was so red and she was spitting and everything. I don't know what you said, but she lifted her arms up around me and hugged me. She said, I don't care. I know I can do this. I know I can do this. And she crying, I'm crying, the bus monitor crying. We broke the other kids up on the bus, all of us crying. And I kept a box of tissue because, you just never know what the child. My mom had to pass out tissue to everybody. So when we get the kids to the school, they loan her a wheelchair lift, and she is like, the look on her face was like she had hit the lottery. And come to find out, she graduated with honors from high school. She got accepted at a prestigious college. I'm gonna tell you, she got accepted at Case Western Reserve University. She was with flying. She not only did she graduate with straight A's, she was the valedictorian of her class. And she said, I'm in this wheelchair. I probably will never get out of this wheelchair. You are ambulatory. You can walk and do whatever you want to. And if I can do this and be the valedictorian of this school, there's no excuse for you to not do it. Broke the house down. After that, everybody saw the wholeness in this child. And what's the name? I can't call his name right now. He was a brilliant scientist. He passed away not too long ago. It's going to come to me right in the middle of this night. It's going to come to me. But he was this, I could see his face. I can almost say his name. He was I think he was a physicist. He was a big cheese in the science industry. And, he couldn't speak, but he could speak through this computer that they had generated or whatever they did. And he was one of the most world-renowned scientists on the world. Somebody going to call me and tell me what it is, who he was. And he never, ever once thought he had a disability, thought he was incapable. And if I can remember, he was married and had some kids, and he was about the size of a 10-year-old, and he had many different maladies, and his brain was sharp. His brain was sharp as a tack. And that's what I was telling my young friend on the bus. I would say, there's nothing. This is the body that God got you in. He put you in this because he knew, and he knows you could deal with this. And she went on to become a pretty good person. And last thing, I shouldn't even be talking about this because I get so full when I think about these kids. She sent me an invitation to her wedding. I didn't even think the child even remembered me. Honest to God, I didn't. And you just don't know who's watching, who's listening. What are people saying about you? What are you saying about other people? I was unable to make her wedding. We sent her a beautiful, I know it's beautiful because I send beautiful gift wrap packages anyway. And so I had wrapped it up really pretty, and I wrapped it in brown paper so it wouldn't get, all messed up. And then when she opened it up, it would, it would still be beautiful, pristine white. And her mother, I couldn't believe it. Her mother even remembered me. And they sent me a thank you note. I didn't even make it to the wedding. We sent it, it was like a present, but the fact that she stopped and hand wrote me a thank you note from her daughter. And her daughter learned to write with a crayon, and she learned to write with chalk. She had issues with her fine motor skills, but that was about it. That was about it. And the fact that she had cerebral palsy, that was about it. Man was sharper than a tack. And when she called, and I get the invitation that she was getting married, and I would have remembered her name. I would have. But the fact that they put a little yellow bus, my bus number, in my wedding invitation, and it just broke my heart. I couldn't leave what I was doing because I was working. And I just asked everybody on set, will you guys just, let me just let me have 15 minutes. Just give me 15 minutes. Oh, and you would have thought I was bawling about my child. I was just jumping up and down. You remember the movie with Eddie Murphy, Mr. What was it? The Nutty Professor, where Eddie Murphy played all the characters, and the one he played with, there was my, that's what I was doing. And my baby, that's my baby. That was it. Can you not do that? I'm like, don't get on stage then. And all of my kids, all of my grandkids, and they're all doing very, very well. And I feel really, really privileged to have known that young lady, that young boy. Oh, I didn't skip a part. Let me tell you why I had to separate them. We come back and the little boy, he's leaning his head back and forth, like spit going up on the window. I'm thinking he having a seizure. And she just grin, slide right down the side of her face. I said, let me go back, because we were stopped. We were stopped, and I put the bus in park, and I went back to see what was going on. They were self-satisfying each other. He was satisfying himself in her pants, and she was satisfying herself in his pants. And I was like, y'all gotta stop that. You can't do that. They grinned at me when I got there and told their father what happened. He said, that's my boy. That's my boy. That's my boy. I was like, you just see what I just said? He said, yeah, I know. Now I know he like girls. That was his biggest concern. Well, babies, let this not be your biggest concern. I'm going to let you know, as long as I can be here with you, I'm going to be here with you. Glitches, junk and all. That's what I do. I'm going to come to you real and uncut. That's what I know to do. I don't have a filter. I don't have to have one now. I want you to remember this. Now, first, remember that you can catch me on Messenger, TikTok, Restream, Spreaker, Jill Sullivan. You on podcast junkie, podcast addict. Just type in Mother Love and you'll be able to see me. And if you can't, and you think you can't get to me, this is my personal email, themotherloveshow@gmail.com. themotherloveshow@gmail.com. And remember this, no matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some mother love, knowing it. Peace, baby. Peace. I love them all. Kisses. Be safe. Be happy.